I told you AI is not going to replace trade shows, but it will replace the marketing teams that keep running trade shows like it's 2015. If you're playing with AI instead of using it to drive real results, you're already behind. And if this is the first time we're meeting, hi, I'm Heather Bundgaard, one of the trainers at Booth Boss Bootcamp. Booth Boss Bootcamp is where we fast-track marketing professionals' experience, confidence, and revenue in 5 weeks or less. And in this video, I'm going to show you what AI is actually changing about trade shows right now, and also show you 9 things you can do to skyrocket your success in the next 90 days. So to start us off, let's talk about what AI is not changing so you stop chasing shiny objects, okay? Because this is where most teams are already wasting money. AI is not going to fix a bad offer, a boring booth and a bad location at a bad show, or a follow-up process that doesn't exist. If your team can't answer in one sentence why someone should stop at your booth instead of the other 300 to 3,000 other ones, then no large language model, or LLM for short, is going to save you. But AI does one thing really well. It helps you repeat what's working with less effort and faster than your team could do on their own. So if your playbook is wrong, well, AI will just help you lose that much faster. But on the flip side, if your playbook is right, then AI becomes an unfair advantage. So let's talk about where that leverage actually lives at trade shows. There are 3 parts of your show where AI is quietly transforming the average into winners. And you probably already know this, but trade shows are commonly broken down into 3 phases: before the show, during the show, and after the show. And AI is nudging all 3 of those phases. So let's walk through each one by one, starting with before the show. Now in this phase, you want to focus on smarter targeting and outreach. Right now, your life probably looks something like this. You buy an attendee list for your show. Then someone on your team dumps that list into your CRM. Then you send one generic email blast with a pretty picture that says something like, "Visit us at booth 417 at the ABC show in Las Vegas." Then maybe 5 to 12 people open up the email. One of them's probably a vendor. Nothing really moves the needle, right? And it feels more like busy work than anything. But what if I told you AI could help your small team do what it takes an entire agency to do? I'm talking about things like ICP scoring, which would look something like this. You feed your ideal customer profile into an AI tool, then give it the attendee or exhibitor list, whatever you're targeting here, and then have it score and rank who matches your industry, size, title, etc., and who's most likely to care about your solution. So, in one afternoon, you go from blasting everyone to making a list of your top 100 must-meet people. Or what about personalizing your pre-show outreach in minutes instead of weeks? So instead of writing 100 custom emails, instead, you'll write one solid base script. Then you'll ask AI to customize this for the VP of marketing at a SaaS company doing blah, blah, blah. Then you get tailored subject lines and opening hooks that actually sound like you, not a robot. Or what if you could test your messaging before you ever hit the show floor? How helpful would that be for you and your bottom line? Well, no problem. All you need to do is feed AI 3 different value propositions, have it generate 5 subject lines for each one, run a micro campaign before the show, watch what gets the most replies and the most attention, then that winning hook becomes your booth headline and your floor pitch. The result? You show up to the show with the messaging you know already works. And how helpful would it be to give your staff a talk track training before the show? Have you ever had that rep who freezes up as soon as they get in front of a customer because they aren't confident in the material, your products, or even the possibilities? All you need to do is feed AI your product sheet, objection list, competitors, and case studies. Then give your rep a simple interface where they can quietly ask questions or feed it some LLM potential concerns. By doing this, you increase your booth staff's confidence, which in turn multiplies potential on the show floor. All right, ready to dive into phase 2, which is during the show, or also called at show. So in this phase, you want better conversations, better data, and less friction. But most booths operate like this. Booth staff improvises every conversation. Nobody asks the same question twice, and notes are, I'll remember, but you know they won't. And then your CRM gets notes that say something like, met him at a show, great guy. That's not helpful to anybody, right? We can do better, folks. AI can quickly improve your customer's experience and give them beneficial data real time, as well as create a memory they will remember, and in turn remember you and your company after they've left your booth. For example, AI can do live qualifying and note capture. The process is as easy as 1, give your team a simple 3 to 5 question script on a tablet or phone. Then while they're talking to your potential customer, they quickly type some bullets, or they can even record the entire discussion via voice to text. After the conversation, AI summarizes the notes into a clear profile. They will tag it A, B, or C, and also suggest the next step, which would be a demo, a strategy call, a nurture drip campaign, etc. No more notes like, Jeff liked us. Okay, but now you'd get something like Director of Demand Gen, 8 shows a year, no attribution, wants board-ready ROI reporting. Next step, schedule a 30-minute post-show call ASAP. Another amazing trick AI can do for you during the show is provide you with an interactive booth experience that's not gimmicky. And it could look something like this. Before the show, you'd create a simple custom GPT or a Gemini Gem, Claude project, or whatever your preferred LLM is, and call it something like, just an example, like an ROI estimator, or something clever that relates to the problem you're trying to solve for your guest. Then during the show, your booth staff would access these questions via a laptop or tablet. The attendee answers the 5 quick questions, which then quickly spits out a mini report, such as ROI gap report, and then it recommends 2 to 3 ways to solve their problem, at which time your staff would go over the recommendations together with your guest and then email them the full version. Hello, new lead, who I'm now going to add into one of my drip campaigns that matches perfectly with where they're headed, right? So I want you to have fun with this. You can have as much fun as you want. So for example, you can create some funny names for the recommendations that you're going to go over with your guest in order to make them smile, right? Okay, with this idea, you will get relevant data, clear pain points, relationship building on the show floor, and also a natural excuse to follow up after the show. Something like, we ran your report together. Here's how these are the recommendations. Here are our next steps, suggested next steps. All right, want to move on to the last and final phase? It's the after the show phase. Now in this phase, we want a killer follow-up sequence. Not data that dies in a spreadsheet. The last phase is where AI quietly makes you more dangerous than you already are. Right now, most post-show looks like this. Everyone's exhausted from the show. Sales has their old leads and their original pipeline to get back to, so the new leads sit quietly just waiting for attention. Poor lonely leads, right? Then 2 weeks later, one generic great to meet you email gets sent from the person who drew the shortest straw. But that's not going to be you guys, right? Anymore? No? Okay, AI lets you systemize 3 things: instant sorting, multi-touch follow-up, and show-level debrief with real insights. Let's first talk about instant sorting. So AI can sort your notes from the booth just by answering. They're going to answer those 3 questions. You want to download those 3 questions, those qualifying questions, and you're going to ask it to split these leads into 3 groups. You want group A, which is ready for a sales conversion right now. Group B is a good fit, but timing is kind of unclear. And group C, not a good fit or too early. This one task will do in 1 hour what would normally take your team a couple of weeks. Next up, let's talk about multi-touch, but still human follow-up. For your A leads, you'll want to have AI draft a 3-part personalized email campaign, such as email number 1 would be something like recap the booth conversation plus a quick win idea. Email number 2 would be a case study that's relevant to their situation. And then email 3 would be something like, here's the plan that I would like to walk through with you during our 15-minute meeting. Then you or your reps will review these emails so that it's more personal and not so AI. You don't have to start from scratch anymore. AI's got the first big chunk ready for you. So moving on to your B leads, you want AI to also do a 3-part campaign that focuses this time on education, such as how leading teams use AI to fix such and such blah, blah, blah problem. Or 5 attribution mistakes that make blah, blah, blah. Or a checklist. A checklist is so beneficial. You might want to do something like, your leaky roof is causing extreme damage if any of these are occurring. Check boxes to kind of freak them out, right? Again, you're going to edit this, but not originate. Then lastly, we're looking for a show level debrief with real insights after the show. So what we do is we dump out all this information into the following. We're going to dump the following into AI. Something like your cost for the show, number of leads generated, meetings booked, opportunities created, deals closed. But you also need to add to it other abstract things. Maybe you tell your AI, explain in plain English which parts of our show funnel worked, which didn't, and what to change for the next show. Be specific about before, during, and after. This way, you are going to go from, I think our show went well, to outcomes like our pre-show emails underperformed, the subject lines and the ICP were off. Or in booth, we underqualified way too many C leads. That's how AI turns every show into a compound learning event instead of a one-off. So, I ask you, how is AI actually changing trade shows? Well, it's not the fundamentals. It's not the fact that you still need a good product and a good service with a clear and sharp message and the disciplined follow-up. But what it is changing is a small focused team can now do the research, personalization, note-taking, and follow-up that used to take an army. And they could do it in days instead of months. The teams who win the next 3 to 5 years of trade shows aren't the ones with the flashiest AI gimmicks on the show floor. They're the ones who are quietly using AI behind the scenes to find the right people, have better conversations, and follow up faster and more consistently than everyone else. You got this, I know you do. And if you found this video to be helpful, please remember to hit the subscribe button below so you don't miss another trade show tip in the future. I will see you on the show floor. Bye for now.